I'm quite a big Guillermo del Toro fan, so I don't know quite how much I need to defend both the concept of a woman/fishman love story and specifically just the idea that this woman/fishman love story is achingly romantic. It is beautiful and uplifting, and I would genuinely suggest it as a good late Valentine's Day date. I mean, maybe not first date, maybe someone you've known for a while, but I think it is, genuinely, just because it has such a purity of intention and an earnestness in its emotion that I feel like you just can't help but buy everything about it. And it takes place in this sort of slightly gritty, slightly dreamy version of 1960s Baltimore. It's all these greens and blues, and so it does feel like it could take place in an alternate version of the world that exists at the bottom of the ocean. And it stars Sally Hawkins as a cleaner at a scientific laboratory. And she witnesses this specimen being brought in for study. And it is the fishman, who is basically the creature from the Black Lagoon, but with better abs. And at first, he seems vicious, he seems dangerous, but over the course of the film, they sort of develop this very special connection and they fall in love. And I do want to congratulate just Doug Jones in the role of the fishman. I mean, he...
Good abs, Doug.
Round of applause. Yeah, very good. I mean, he's played quite a few of Del Toro's most famous monsters, from Hellboy's own fishman, Abe Sapien, to the Pale Man and the Faun in Pan's Labyrinth. And I think even under all those layers of makeup, out still beams that classic romantic lead. The brooding sensitivity is still there. And I think, what Del Toro is so good at is that he just creates a bond between them that is so powerful. This is the very transcendent version of love. This is the all-consuming love. And I think that's how he kind of gets you on board. It's less about trying to convince you that this fishman is one to fall in love with. It's more that the love between them is so powerful that you go, yeah, I accept it. Like, why not? And I think, it's high fantasy. It is kind of improbable. And I think the best way to view this film is very much as a fairy tale. And I think that's the mode that Del Toro largely operates in as a filmmaker. I think he uses the universes of horror, but I think his aims are usually a lot more sentimental or romantic. For example, Crimson Peak, which, there's this whole argument over Crimson Peak. Is it horror? I think it's far more of a gothic romance.
Yeah.
Or Pan's Labyrinth is quite folklorish, I would say. And I think this is pretty much taking the context of a creature feature and then just telling this very straightforward love story. And I don't want to do it a disservice by saying that it's basically Beauty and the Beast, but it kind of is, because you have the princess without a voice, which is Eliza, because she is mute in this film, and that's how they describe her. And then you have her beast, which is the fishman. And you even have this Gaston-like character in Michael Shannon's villain who is fair of appearance but monstrous of heart.
Yeah.
And so, it does have that simplicity of emotions. It has that kind of fairy tale morality to it. But I think, within that simplicity, you have the room to really amplify emotions to the maximum. So this is all about the big emotions, the all-consuming emotions. And this is the idea that love is the salvation to a lonely world. And I think everyone in this film is very lonely. I think, Eliza's obviously lonely because, she's communicating in sign language, but she kind of feels that not everyone around her can quite understand what she's really trying to say. Yeah. And you have her best friend, played by Octavia Spencer, called Delilah, who I think we can listen to a clip of her right now, and then I'll explain afterwards.
Okay.
Oh, my feet are already killing me. I made Brewster pigs in the blanket tonight before leaving. Boy, he just ate them up. No thank yous, no yum-yums, not a peep. Man is as silent as a grave. But if farts are flattery, honey, he be Shakespeare. And then I get home, and I bake him breakfast. Eggs, bacon, and butter toast. I butter the man's toast, Eliza. Both sides, as if he was a child. And I don't even get a thank you. You'd be grateful, because you're an educated woman, but my Bruce, all he had going for him was animal magnetism back in the day. Hadn't worked in a while. What in the Sam Hill? Lou, you boys mind putting the trash in the can? That's what it's there for.
Oh, I love her in it.
Yeah, and so you can tell from that, she's kind of doing the talking for both of them. But when she returns home to her husband, it's like, he barely acknowledges her. And so I think from that perspective, she's also very lonely. You have her neighbor, played by Richard Jenkins, who is isolated because of his sexuality. And there is that deep well of sadness there. And I think, even Michael Shannon's character, the villain, is isolated because he sees himself as being above his present circumstances and he feels alienated by his surroundings. And so, yeah, I think there is this simplicity to the film, but I think there is also just a profound kind of, I don't know, there's just a beauty and a largeness of emotions that is quite moving.